Woo-hoo-hoo! What's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Delatoro. I hope and pray that you're doing wonderfully well on this incredible Thursday. I'm really pumped, excited, and delighted and honored that we're going to have a powerful conversation about the importance of live events, about the importance of developing new relationships, about the importance of post-pandemic, how you take your business and your life to the next level. And I've invited a very special guest who's going to be joining us live at the Full Throttle Experience 2022 this year. He's a dear friend, business colleague, advisor to many, mentor to many in the network marketing, direct sales space. He's a global influencer when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency and just next level of thinking. This dude is a leader of leaders and an influencer of influencers. I'm honored to bring to the stage my main man, Cedric Harris. What's up, Ced? How you living, man?
Toro, man, it's always good to see you, brother. You know, we're actually popping on a StreamYard and a live, and I'm telling people don't know that we probably live 20 minutes away from each other. So this should have actually either been done at my house or your house. We're screaming and we're like 20 minutes away from each other. So good to be connected, brother. Good to be live here with you, my friend.
It's good to be connected with you, man. And listen, we were just together a couple weeks ago, man. You reached out to me and said, let's break bread together, and we connected. Listen, talk to us about how important, man, it is to have powerful partnerships, powerful connections. How important is it? You know, we're just coming out of a pandemic. The market is going crazy in so many different ways. You teach on so many amazing things as it relates to leveraging the market, leveraging direct sales, leveraging your audience, leveraging your tribe. You are a tried and true trailblazer. First and foremost, for those who don't know who you are, will you take just a minute or two and tell folks who you are and why you believe so much in personal development and how personal development has helped you in business?
Sure, absolutely. You know, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. I actually moved here to Florida back in 2004. I come from a very interesting background. You know, I went through a lot of things growing up in my life. You know, I saw a guy with a black robe at a young age, at 18 years old, for being a pharmaceutical salesperson. And that changed my life dramatically. And I knew at that point that I had to go into a different direction because there was something about a jail cell that just wasn't fun for me. And I wanted to change my life and do something different. So I was lucky enough to get focused inside of direct selling. I was always good at selling stuff, which is one of the reasons why I saw that guy in a black robe. I just was selling the wrong stuff, you know, and I just kept staying in direct selling companies, selling different products, selling cars, selling food services, selling clothes. You know, I was a top salesperson in a lot of different places. And I was lucky enough, Delatoro, a lot of people don't know this story. I was lucky enough to answer an ad in the Richmond Times-Dispatch that changed my life. And it said that this will be the last ad. This will be the last job that you would ever take. And I'm like, really? Interesting. You know, and I go to the office and the office is blank. You know, just a manager in there with a secretary, you know, fax machines back in the day, a couple of computers, there was nobody else in there. And I'm like, what are they selling? Like vacuum cleaners or something?
Right.
Like, what are we doing in here? And I got interviewed for a mortgage position, knew nothing about loans. This was a one-call close. It wasn't like going to the bank and doing loans. We had to go to people's houses. We had to do a flip chart. It was a full-blown presentation. Right. And long story short, you know, I became the #2 loan officer inside of that company. Then they promoted me to management. You know, 2001, I made like $65,000. That was the most money I'd ever made in my life in a year. 2002, I made like $350,000. And then 2003, I made $2.1 million. And I thought the sky was going to part, man. I was 27 years old. I'm like, I'm a millionaire at 27. This is crazy. You know, and the owner called me up and said, hey, why don't you become the president of the company? And he brought me down to Florida and took me fishing and said, you know, this is what I was thinking. I was like, Florida, 85-degree weather, no state taxes. I grew up on the water. I love fishing.
Yep.
No problem. I mean, when I first got here, I was light-skinned. Things changed. We hung out in the sun a little bit. We got a little bit darker. But when the first mortgage crash came, I saw it coming. So, you know, I held that position from 01 to 06. And in 2006, I got out of the mortgage arena and just started focusing fully on direct selling right before the crash. And then the crash came and everything changed, man. So I've been inside of the networking space since 2006, full time. I've coached and mentored thousands of people around the world. Yep. I've been a seven-figure earner in multiple different companies. Been interviewed by people like Grant Cardone, Eric Warray. I've shared the stage with some of the biggest people around the world. leadership. And yeah, man, we're still out there doing it. We're still out there helping people. And one of the things I tell people all the time is that, direct sales and network marketing is simply personal development with a product attached to it. That's all it is.
That's it.
That's all.
And said, I want to ask you an important question, brother, because I think a lot of people glaze over this. And this is one of the things we're going to be talking about live at the Full Throttle Experience. And that's why we want every one of you guys to register right now. We've got an incredible conference coming up called the Full Throttle Experience, coming up June 29th through July 3rd. It's going to be absolutely game-changing. Cedric's going to be joining us on a special Super Friend Success panel on Saturday that you are not going to want to miss live in person. So I need you to be in the building. But Cedric, I need you to talk to us about, in my opinion, I've known you for a long time, and no matter what you've touched, you have found a way to turn it into an incredible success. And you and I both know that there are certain people who, no matter what environment you put them in, they just know how to turn it into something successful. And I don't believe that that's an accident. So what would you say are 2 or 3 of the things that you have done in your life that's allowed you, on a personal level, that's allowed you to, no matter what company it is or what business or what venture or what sales opportunity, you always rise to the top? What is it about that internal things? Dr. Stephen Covey said, private success always comes before public success. What is that internal thing in you that gets you to that next level, that always has you rising to the top no matter what career you're in?
I was watching a Puff Daddy video years ago. I think it was about maybe 13, 14 years ago. And I like to study people that are great, people that have this crazy extensive work ethic. And Puffy is worth $800 million. And I think he says he sleeps 3 hours a day. And Puffy said, take me naked and throw me in a jungle, and I'll come out with a chinchilla hat. I want everybody to hear that again. Take me naked and throw me in a jungle, and I'll come out with a chinchilla hat. So for me, growing up, how I grew up, knowing the environment that I was in, knowing that I've lost a lot of friends at a very, very young age. I lost my best friend that I grew up with since the 5th grade, literally 2.5 years ago, to this drug game. And at the end of the day, I've looked at the environments that I've been around. And I said, if this person can do this, I can do it. If this person can do this, I can do it. And a lot of people don't realize that every single person puts their pants on one leg at a time, period. We all bleed blood, period. So if one person can do this, you can do it. But what you have to do, and something that a lot of people don't want to do, is they've got to learn to understand what their kryptonite is, Delatoro.
Wow.
And let me take this down the rabbit hole a bit, because most people won't get this one.
Yeah.
All right, Superman knew what his kryptonite was, so what did he do? He stayed away from it. He knew what his kryptonite was. He knew kryptonite was a stone or whatever, and it zapped his superpowers.
Yes, sir.
So first thing that you got to do is identify what your superpowers are. You got to identify what is that one gift or 2 or 3 gifts that God gave you that he didn't give everybody else. He gave you a gift. Now, he knew who you were before you came into this world.
Come on.
So the 2 most important days of your life, the day that you were born and the day that you figure out why.
Come on.
So he gave you these gifts. So once you identify that gift, you got to say, okay, what hinders my gift?
Yeah.
What hinders my gift? Because if I surround myself around certain types of people, that's going to hinder my gift. Okay. That's going to put a big monkey wrench in my gift. So for some people, it might be drugs. For some people, it might be alcohol. For some guys, it's women. Okay. And I'll just use women as an example for some guys. Okay. Some people confuse love with lust.
Right.
They confuse love with lust. Okay. And at the end of the day, that could be your kryptonite of, oh, I'm chasing this woman. I'm so focused on this. Now I love women. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not married. I don't want to get it twisted. I love women. I got 80% of the people in my organization are women. Right. I'm just telling people right now that once you identify what that kryptonite is, you got to know, you got to stay away from the kryptonite.
Yeah.
Now, because the kryptonite could take you down a rabbit hole. Kryptonite could be alcohol for some people, and they don't realize it.
Right.
And it throws them off. Kryptonite could be weed. Kryptonite could be cocaine. Kryptonite could be Molly. Kryptonite could be sitting on the computer all day long looking at World Star Hip Hop. It could be looking at TMZ. It could be doing absolutely nothing. What is your kryptonite? Once you identify your kryptonite, you stay away from your kryptonite and you focus and stop trying to work more on your weaknesses. I see a lot of people trying to work on their weaknesses all the time. And what you do is that you hire people or you bring people around you that are really, really good. So I had the benefit of being with the richest person in Treasure Island, Florida, still to this day, Bill Edwards. And I was with him for 2.5 years straight when he moved me to Florida 5 days a week. And I tell people, if you're around somebody that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars for 2.5 years straight, 5 days a week, and you don't walk away a millionaire, you either got a personal problem or a drug problem. Like, how can you be around somebody that's worth $500 million plus?
That's right.
You don't even walk away with one.
Wait, right. That part.
Two. Like, come on now. Like, something's going to rub off.
That's right. That's right.
The work ethic that he had was tremendous, but something he told me one day, he said, I want to show you something. Now, I was the president of marketing for the whole entire company. I was the only Black executive in the whole entire company.
Wow.
I had 1,100 loan officers. The only way to get to Bill was to go through me.
Wow.
Okay, he's like, let me show you something. We go into a meeting one day, Delatoro. We're in this meeting. And he's got like 7, 8 people around him, and all these super smart people. And he said, you know what separates me from everybody? And I said, what's that? He's like, I might not be the smartest person in the room, but I got the smartest people around me. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not a good accountant, so I'm just gonna get the best one. I'm not a good graphics guy. I'm gonna get the best one. I'm not a good person to buy mortgage notes or to buy down the interest rates, but I'm gonna get the best one. So he surrounded himself around the best people.
That's it.
And then he could just be the leader. That's a good idea. That's not a good idea. That's a good idea. That's not a good idea. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to get political on here, but George Bush was a D student. He was a D student in school, and he became the president. He was a D student. He wasn't an A student. He was a D student. He became the president. He became the president of the United States. Now, I'm not getting political with anybody, but I want you to understand that this gentleman surrounded himself around all these great people.
That's it.
All these great people around him, right?
That's it.
Now he can say, you know what? That's a good idea. That's not a good idea. This is a good idea. That's not a good idea. You know what I mean? And just keep moving.
Yeah. That's that. Hey, said, Brad, you dropping so many gems, and this is what we do, and this is what I love. And I want you all to understand something powerful: the power of relationships, y'all. We are in the relationship economy. That's why I want you to show up live at the Full Throttle Experience, because when you connect, I remember Wayne Dyer, may he rest in peace, power and prosperity. Wayne Dyer and Les Brown were always friends and colleagues, wanted to always do something together, but never did because they were both so busy. And once he passed, Les reached out to me and he said, man, I really wanted to do something with Wayne Dyer, but I never got a chance to. And he said, so if you want to work with somebody, you need to do whatever it takes to work with them. So said, when you needed me, boom, I was there same day, bro. Every time I've called you and I needed you, you were there same day, same week, just like today. I want you guys to understand the power of relationships, the power of being quality people, the power of surrounding yourself with the best. And notice 2 words that Cedric has said in this presentation multiple times that you never hear on social media: work ethic. What is your work ethic? Right? At the end of the day, Will Smith said, he said, listen, you might have more talent than me, more money than me, but you never will outwork me. And I think at the end of the day, my friend, we've got to understand that there's no shortcuts. The other day, a young man goes up to Denzel Washington. He said, I feel like I'm supposed to be your mentee. Will you please mentor me? The first question Denzel asked him was, are you in school? The young man said, no, I'm not in school. He said, well, finish school first, and then come and ask me for mentorship. In other words, respect your craft enough to want to study it and then come sit under me. You're not even ready for me yet. Right? And I think said so many times we want to take it to that next level, and we haven't put in the hours to really develop the skill, develop the craft, develop what is inside of us. And that's why we want people to show up at Full Throttle. And said, you have mentored so many amazing people, incredible, including the one and only Larry Beecham, who's decided to join us for a little bit. Larry, let us know when you want to come on camera, brother. We'd like to chat with you. But said, talk about how important it is for us to show show up at live events? How important? You just came from an event. I think you were, and you just were blown away at one of our mutual friends and mentors, Dr. Myron Golden.
Yes.
Talk to us about the importance of live events and why we need to show up to events such as the Full Throttle Experience, and what can happen in those transformational spaces, brother.
Okay, I'm getting goosebumps right now. All right, so here's the deal. I'll tell y'all a quick story. What is this? This is 22. So I think it was 17, 18. Don't back me on this. So a couple of years ago, a friend of mine says, "Hey, Sid, I got a meeting with Grant Cardone. I got a meeting with Grant Cardone, and I want you to go." And I said, "Great. I want to pitch him XYZ." And I'm like, "He's not doing that. But because you got a meeting with him, I'm gonna go. You coming from Canada, I'm coming from Tampa. Let's go."
Right.
I go and I sit down with Grant. You know, we go back and forth on a couple of different things. And Grant says, "You know what? I had this idea for this network marketing millionaire moguls TV show." And I said, "Okay." He was like, "You know what? Let's go and do it right now." And I'm like, "You want to do it right now? Cool, let's go, man. I mean, you want to quote Will Smith? Will Smith said, "You ain't got to worry about getting ready if you stay ready." So let's go.
Come on.
So we go in there, we go in the studio, we cut it. And one thing that I said that's tying right into this, he said, "Talk to me about events." Kind of like you. And I said, "I've never been to an event that cost me money."
Woo!
So he looked at me and he was like,
"You got to say that again."
I said, "I never have been to an event that cost me money. Never, ever in the history of ever. And he was like, no, like $497 for a ticket, $1,500 for a ticket, $3,000 for a ticket. I said, "I paid all of it, but it never cost me any money." And he said, How? I said, "Easy, bro. The power of relationships." I said, "I've made more money in the hallway, connecting with leadership in the hallway, connecting with certain people that I would have never met with, that I've created a relationship with, that maybe it turned into $50,000. Maybe it turned into $100,000. Maybe it turned into another event." The event that I just spoke at with our man, Mr. Dr. Myron Golden, was because of an event that I did with Anetta 10 years prior.
Wow.
And every year she does the event, she has me there. Every year. Okay.
Wow.
So when you think about the power of that, a month prior to that event, I did an event in Atlanta, Georgia, with a multimillionaire, Nicola Smith Jackson.
Yep.
From an event that I met her at 7, 8, maybe 9, 10 years ago, and we've maintained that relationship. I'm doing an event in a couple of months with a friend of mine, Steve Hopper. Events.
That's it.
So people don't realize that it will not cost you money. Here's when it costs you money: when you don't go.
That's right.
Because you don't know that one relationship that could change your life. You don't know that one thing that could be said on stage that could change your life. You don't know that one person that could impact your life in a way that you leave there flying. Because a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people go to events all the time, right, Della Toro? And a good friend of mine, Ray Higdon, he said this the best. I got to give credit where credit is due. He's like, people come to events, they don't realize they take all these notes, right? They take all these notes, and then they go home. They go home, and at the event, they're flying high. They're flying high. Their ether is here. It's like the first day you got married. The first day you were walking down the aisle, you were in love. It was bliss. I can't wait. 10 years later, he won't take out the trash. He looking at TV. He doing nothing, driving you crazy. Like 10 years ago, you was in love, right?
Come on.
So here's the thing. I just lost my whole train of thought. Here's
It's all good.
we get rolling here, man. Sometimes it turns into church, right? So when it comes down to events, meeting that person, that one connection,
that's right.
You just don't know. Here's where I was going with this. So Ray said, people leave the event. They got all these notes. They flying high. Their ether is there, and then they don't practice anything that they learned at the event, right? Well, here's the reality. Every event that you're there and you're taking notes, your notebook is uncashed checks.
Ooh.
That's what your notebook is. It's uncashed checks. So you go to the Full Throttle event, you meet all these people. You're taking all these notes. You're learning from Dr. Della Toro. You're learning from Dr. Myron Golden. You're learning from me. You're learning from all these other people, taking all these notes that are simply uncashed checks. And there's a lot of people that got notebooks in their closet. They got them in their closet, right? So let me tell you something right now. You got notebooks right now. This is going to affect somebody right now. We take you to church right now. You got notes right now sitting in your closet that you ain't looked at for 2 years, 3 years. You went to an event 3 years ago. You ain't whooped out those notes since you went to the event, or you scanned it here and there, here and there. I want you to think about the notes that you got in the closet. Then I want you to look at your bank account. Think about the notes that you got in your closet. Then I want you to look at your bank account, because those notes are uncashed checks. So if those notes are uncashed checks, and we're sitting in 2022, Delatoro, I was having a conversation with Larry right before we got on this Zoom. I mean,
wow.
Which is the reason why I was a minute or two late. And I've been telling a lot of my key friends this. I said, let me tell you something right now. We are getting ready to go through the greatest reset you've ever seen in your life.
Woo!
And I'm like, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. I was in the mortgage industry when interest rates were 3.5%, 30-year fixed rate mortgages, and I watched them go to 6.5. I watched us go from 1,100 loan officers down to a couple hundred. I watched us go from 28 offices down to 11. I watched my managers go from making 80 grand a month down to 5. I watched them go from buying high-end cars to now hiding them from the repo man, right? So we're going through this. We're going through this right now, and I want y'all to think about this. You're seeing it in the crypto market. Bow. You're seeing it inside of the stock market. Bow. You're seeing it inside of oil. Bow. I was reading yesterday that China is considering, Saudi Arabia is considering selling oil to China for the yuan.
Ooh.
Now, why does this affect everybody listening to me? 80% of the world currency right now is based off of the US dollar. Mm-hmm. If Saudi Arabia starts to sell oil to China based off of the yuan, welcome to a problem. Now, why would they do that? Because China has been hoarding gold.
That's it.
They've been hoarding God's money. And we've got this printing press. Just keep pressing it, devaluing it. So why does that mean anything to anybody? If you want to go to the next level, if you want to change your life, you have to increase your skill sets right now.
That's right.
You got to increase your skill sets right now. How do you increase your skill sets? By getting around people who have it. What do they say? You hang around 5 broke people, you'll be number 6.
That's right.
You hang around 5 overweight people, you'll be number 6. You hang around 5 people that are positive, you'll be number 6. You hang around 5 great speakers that are giving you knowledge, you'll be number 6. You get in this room with all these people that are dropping all this knowledge, and then all these elbows with all these people that want to change their life. You don't know who you're going to meet at lunch.
Woo.
You don't know who you're going to meet at the hallway.
That's it.
You don't know what that one statement is going to be that's going to hit you and be like, that's all. I've gone to events. I've been on coaching calls with my coaches, right? That, hour-long coaching call for a week, and I get one nugget 10 minutes in, and I'm like, hey, I'm good.
I'm done.
That one nugget right there, you know what? I'm good. I know I paid you 50 grand. I know I paid you 20 grand or whatever, but you know what? I'm good. That one nugget is all. We don't need to dilute this water no more.
No more.
See you next week. That's it. I'm good. That one nugget, man. So you always looking for, what's that one nugget? What's that one nugget? Gotta get to the Full Throttle event. Period. End of story.
Said, man, you have dropped so many bars, brother. And I say this all the time because that's a popular phrase, the whole bars thing. But man, you have literally dropped some absolute platinum. And I want to just rewind for a quick second. I know Larry's going to join us any second now. He said, I'm pulling my car over so I can come on camera. As soon as he comes on camera, I'm going to pull him up. But listen, man, I love what you said. You said, listen, when we go to events, and that's what I love about the Full Throttle experience, and it's titled that on purpose because one of the things for me said, I got sick and tired of going to events where I was constantly taking notes, but I was not challenged to implement the notes in real time. And that's what I love about Full Throttle is that while we do sessions where people are learning, we immediately go from the learning environment over to an experiential environment where you literally have to then execute on what you just took notes about so you can really see how you show up as it relates to confidence, as it relates to creativity, as it relates to overcoming fear, as it relates to eliminating excuses so you can get off the kickstand and you can really ride the motorcycle of your life and business in the direction you really want to go. We put people through the paces at the Full Throttle experience, and y'all, this is a conference like no other, and you've got to be be in the building. Listen, post-pandemic, you were forced to quarantine for 2 years.
Right.
And now that the world is open back up, you've been to the concerts, you've been to the performances, you've been to the comedy clubs, but what have you been doing? And you've probably traveled, you've probably been to Tulum and all that stuff, right? But what have you done to invest in you, invest in who you're becoming, invest in your next level, invest in your growth, putting yourself in a place like said just said, every single one of those notes that you allowed to collect dust over the last conferences that you went to, they're just uncashed checks sitting, waiting there for you to take advantage of them and to leverage them, brother. Man, you dropping some crazy bars. And like you said, people don't understand the amount of networking that happens, not just coming from the stage, but in the hallway, going back and forth from the bathroom, breaks, eating lunch. You don't know who you're going to connect with in the evenings after the sessions are over. And that's why I tell people, and I love what you said. You said, I've never been to a conference that's cost me anything. Because you're exactly right. One right relationship can be the game changer for your business, for your brand, for your personal edification, for your family, for your children, for your marriage, for your significant other, boo, or it's complicated. Every single one of us need to consistently put ourselves in a space and a place. Said, I'm not sure if you saw it this week, bro, but our brand new book, which this conference is inspired by, my brand new book, bro. Our brand new book is #1 on Nook. Barnes & Noble, #1 in the planet, brother. #1 book on the planet, brother.
Congrats,
so
man.
Dude, I'm excited, man. God is doing some incredible things.
Yes.
The Today Show had just invited me back for the 3rd time in 2022, brother. And when we sat down and had lunch, you said, man, there's a lot of people out here in this industry doing a lot of stuff. He said, but you said this. You said, I love what you're doing. And I love how you do what you're doing. Will you just give them a window into what we were talking about as it relates to speaker training and being out there and just impacting the world with the power of the spoken word, and how coming to Full Throttle will help them to take even that game to the next level?
Absolutely. So first of all, I don't know if Larry's going to be able to pop on here or not, but if it wasn't for Larry, I wouldn't have met you. So I got to give it up to my man, Larry. And I met Larry off the whim, off of a phone call from a person in networking that quit. And Larry trusted me so much that he didn't go to a job interview that he really needed to go to because he needed some money. Wow. You know, and he's been with me ever since. We've been locked and loaded as friends ever since, right? Yeah. And when I reached out to you that day, and I was seeing what was going on with the book, and I read the book, and because you're like 20 minutes away, I'm like, man, I gotta take Delatore to lunch. Like we gotta go to lunch. Like I gotta pick your brain because I'm working on 2 books myself, and I'm like, he's doing some things that I want to do. Like I'm seeing you on TV, I'm seeing you speaking in different places. I'm like, Delatore, like, man, it's something about going to an event, speaking, making $25,000 or $50,000 and going home. I said, that's sexy. That's sexy. Like, I gotta work for mine. I'm like, you do that for like 2 hours and then you go. You got the books, you got this, I'm like, hold on, bro. I gotta learn that. And I'm gonna give everybody a quick nugget here so I don't forget this before I finish this. You know, I had an appointment, right? I had an appointment in the middle of our call. Yep. And I'm gonna school y'all on something here really quickly. I had an appointment in the middle of our call, and it went longer than my anticipation. In the middle of our lunch, it went way longer than my anticipation. And you had to go pick up your daughters. Yep. And so I run back in, and you were paying for the lunch, and I was like, no, bro, no, I got this. Like I'll say it's already picked. No. I invited you. No. Say it. Stop. I was mad. I'm like, no, you are not. Because some people don't get that when somebody is willing to link up with you and they have more value. Yeah. You, first of all, you don't let them pay for anything when they go to lunch or dinner. Because they don't have to be there and they're giving you some value. You can't let them pay for anything. And you didn't have to be there. You gave me some nuggets on some book plugs that I didn't even know that were 10 minutes down the road from us. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you want me to take you over there? I introduced you to the people. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, we print this on demand, And I'm like, okay, all right, talk to me about the publishing. Oh, self-publishing versus book being over here. I got this one book in me that I can't tell anybody the title because somebody might try to steal it because the title is so cold. You know what I mean? I said, Delatore, I want to walk into a airport one day. Yep. And I was going through the airport. Yep. I remember sending you the picture. I was in Atlanta. I was walking through the airport in Atlanta. You know, they have all those bookstores, and your book was sitting right. I said, that's my man's. man, like that was motivating.
Yes.
Because what did I tell everybody at the beginning of this? If he can do it, I can do it.
Come on.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know what? Hold on, let me sit down with him and find out how is this possible? What is the process? What is this process of me going through an airport and having my book right there? Like I can only imagine how my kids would feel if they were my book right there. If my mom and dad were coming through the airport and they saw that, I need this game. Give me this game so I can figure this out. But instead of me trying to figure it out on my own, going down this path that's a rocky road, you get a mentor, you get people that you connect with, relationships, so they can eliminate the rocky road and take you down the paved road. I don't think you get enough credit for the amount of people that you help, Del Toro. You know, I really don't think you get enough credit. I don't think a lot of people, whether they're looking at this from my wall, I'm going to share this in a couple of my Facebook groups as well. I don't think that you get enough credit from people that really don't know the impact that you've had on so many lives and the impact that you can have on their life, whether it's them buying your book right now. Hello, that's called The Clue. Go to Amazon and buy it right now. Okay. I've never bought a book that cost me money either. Okay. Literally. I don't have to read the whole book. I don't need to read the whole book. When you read the whole book, like we can read the whole book, you might come across one chapter that changes your life. That $20, it was a $20. Listen, you put $20 in your gas tank right now, and you know your gas tank got a speaker on it. Somebody be like, "What do you mean it got a speaker on it?" It's got a speaker on it because when you put $20 in it, it says, "Huh? Huh? Huh?" Like what you doing? You just spitting here?
Right.
It's the same $20. Buy you a book, learn a nugget. So then you just sitting at the pump, just do. You don't care.
Come on.
It don't even matter. You know, I'll tell you something because I see that one of our friends and mentors is going to be at your event, Dr. Myron Golden. All right. So last week, but 2 weeks ago, him and I speak at the Wealth Connect event, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. All right. Myron gets on stage. Now, because I'm a speaker there, you know, Anetta takes care of my food, my flights, you know, all that stuff. I ain't got to spend no money, okay? Because I'm a speaker there. All right, what's the nugget that I'm gonna get? I gotta learn something.
Good.
Man, I watched Dr. Myron Golden go on stage and unequivocally crush the room. I'm sitting back like, oh my God. Now, my dad taught me a long time ago to never count anybody else's money because you can't spend it. But Lord knows I'm sitting there like, hold on, he just did this in an hour and a half.
That's it.
So I'm looking at the offer that I got, right? I got a certain offer that I got, Del Toro. I'm looking at the offer and I'm like, I don't care how many people is left in the room. I can't do what he just did with this offer. It don't matter. So what did I immediately do? I said, I got to change my game. I got to change my game. I said, because this man just crushed it. And then I talked to Anetta a couple of days ago and she told me some numbers and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I recorded this. I said, hey, I need the recording.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't even want the whole event, do you? I said, no, I don't need the whole event.
You got to study that piece. You got to study that piece.
Mr. Golden's part.
Yeah.
I want to watch the process. I want to watch what he did. And I want people to think about this. You never learn how to drive a stick shift car on video. Yes. You never learn how to drive a stick shift car on video. Trust me, I tried to learn how to drive a stick shift car with the headset because I bought one off the cuff, called my brother and said, teach me how to drive a stick. And he was like, you're going to pick me up? And I'm like, no. He was like, how am I drive a stick? I said, look, I just bought a stick shift car. It's 45 minutes away from my house. I'm leaving my car here and I'm driving that one home. He was like, you stupid. I said, no, I need you to teach me. After about 10 minutes, I thought I had it down, Del Toro. I thought I had it down. Bro, by the time I got that car home, I burnt the clutch out.
Wow.
Because I kept pulling off in second gear. Now, why do I keep telling everybody this? Because a lot of people keep trying to pull off in second gear and they wonder why their car is bucking. Ooh. AKA your life. Your life is bucking. You're trying to pull off a second gear and your life is bucking and you wonder why it's stalling. If you ever get into a 6-speed car and you're at a stoplight and you try to pull off a second gear, you're going to stall the car. It's going to start, it's going to cut off. It starts off in first, baby. It starts off in first. It's first, second, third, fourth. Okay? So I use this as an analogy of mentorship. I use it as an analogy of being at an event. There's going to be things that you will learn at the event that you might not learn from YouTube.
Come on.
You might not learn it from the live stream. Okay, now watching the live stream is cool. Don't get me wrong. However, it's a whole different experience being in the room. It's a whole different experience rubbing elbows. Because let me ask you a question. What relationship are you going to create watching the live stream at home? You already know your dog. My dog right here on the floor. I know exactly right here that he's on the floor. He's laying here like that. And when you going to shut up? Okay. Right. He listens to this stuff all day long. Okay. We already have a relationship together. That's my man sitting there. Okay. However, I can't bring a 150-pound Rottweiler to an event. Okay. You might be there with your kids. You already got a relationship with your kids. You got a relationship with your wife. You got a relationship with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other. You already know them. There's going to be some people at the event that you don't know. There's going to be a nugget that you could pick up that could change your life. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not just saying this just so you can just go get a ticket. Okay. We're saying this because it is true. We're saying this because we live it and breathe it.
Every day.
We live it and breathe it every single day. So when somebody says, hey, say, can you do anything? I'm there. What? I don't know who I'm going to meet. Let's go. Let's go.
We say yes immediately. Come on, Doc.
Yes. That one or two relationships can change everything. I met a gentleman at an event a couple of years ago. We did a Zoom yesterday, Del Toro, and I lie to you not. I really think the Zoom that we did yesterday, I really truly think in the core of my bones, based on the caliber of people that were there, based on the people that are involved in this specific project, I really truly feel in the core of my bones that one Zoom is going to put a couple of $1 million in my pocket in the next 12 months. Like, real talk. That one Zoom from a gentleman that I met from an event. Most people don't get how powerful this is. So get your VIP ticket. Get on the front end of your VIP ticket. Whatever you need to do, whatever works within your budget. I got to move this around. I got to move that around. Do it.
You know, one of the things that I teach all the time is I say opportunities never go away. They only go to others.
Exactly.
Opportunities never go away. Somebody type that in the comments for me. Opportunities never go away. They only go to others. We think that if we don't take advantage of an opportunity, that it just disappears. No, it doesn't. Nope. If Bruno Mars comes in town and you decide not to go, 80,000 other people had a great experience. Exactly. You didn't. So here's what you got to understand. June 29th through July 3rd is going to come and it's going to go. The question is, on the other side of that, since it's happening 4th of July weekend, are you going to finally be, after June 29th through July 3rd, are you going to have financial freedom? Are you going to have emotional freedom? Are you going to have relational freedom? Are you going to have spiritual freedom? Are you going to have location freedom? Are you going to have purpose freedom? Are you going to have destiny freedom? Are you going to have life assignment freedom? My homeboy already said it. He said, listen, Mark Twain, the two most important days of your life, the day that you were born, the day you figure out why. Almost every one of us in the personal development space study, right? Think and Grow Rich. We study Earl Nightingale. One of the speakers that's coming to Full Throttle is Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who is, in my humble opinion, one of the most well-read and well-versed lecturers, thinkers, and next level success minds on the planet. You talk about Professor of the Year at Clark Atlanta 3 consecutive times. This dude has a letter in his office from Earl Nightingale.
Wow.
We quote Earl Nightingale. This dude literally has a letter from Earl Nightingale. Y'all, while you're watching this, I love that you're watching this, but listen, I need you to take a step beyond watching, and I need you to go to fullthrottle2022.com. It's right there on the screen. It's been here the whole time. And actually secure your seat. Book your reservation, book your flight, book your hotel, and put your face in the place and be where the high achievers gather. Y'all, because here's the thing. We as high achievers, we have to lead while we bleed. So we don't get a chance to take a time out. We don't get a chance to take time off most times. So we go through hurts and pains that we don't heal from. and we carry that stuff into the new job, the new relationship, the new position, the new role. And you need a place where you can woosah. You need a place where you can take off the mask of being a superhero and a super shero. And you need to be in a place where you get to reset, because guess what? The end of June is halftime. We're in halftime. Whether you realize this or not, friends, we are in halftime. And it's in halftime where the rest of the game is truly determined. And if you want the rest of this year to be the best of this year, and if you want the rest of your life to be the best of your life, you need to intentionally put yourself in the right places on purpose. And the Full Throttle Experience, June 29th through July 3rd, is the place to be if you know that you are ready to shift some things into a higher gear. Because I believe this said, most people are one shift away from their greatest breakthrough. It don't take 25,000 things. It could be one small shift, brother, that could make all of the difference. Can you speak to the importance of how one small shift can make such a big difference in someone's life, personally and professionally? Can you talk to that and how important it is? We've talked about Vince. We've talked about how there's buying books, y'all. Listen, you need to go on Amazon right now or go on Audible. Get the book on Audible. Shift into a higher gear. This book will change your entire destiny. You ain't got to believe me. You can believe the guy that did the forward to it. Brian Tracy wrote the forward to this book. This book is an absolute game changer. It'll change your life. Go pick it up right now today. It's the #1 book on the planet on Barnes & Noble, y'all. #1 in 3 different categories on Amazon. We're going for the Wall Street Journal. We're going for the USA Today and the New York Times. And we ain't playing. Why are we not playing? Because at the end of the day, when God gives you a gift, if you take it seriously and you value the weight of the motorcycle that God has given you to ride in life and business, and you roll the throttle and you get rid of the kickstand of your excuses, and you get the right biker posse, there is no destination that you cannot succeed at. There is no destination that you cannot succeed at, but you've got to connect with the right folks. And that's what this conference is all about. We said, will you quickly talk to them real quick? I don't want to give them too much, because they need to be in the building, but just, will you take a quick second, man, as we wrap this up, and just speak to how important it is, man, for us to really lean into our next level. And I think our main man might be joining us back here in a second, but how important is it that we lean into the next level of our lives? And how important is it that we can really be one shift away from our biggest breakthrough if we just take the time to realize it?
I mean, I just think everything comes down to time. And I think that if we start to realize how fast the earth is spinning on its axis, just yesterday it was January. You know, at some point, you got to wake up and make a commitment. At some point, you got to say, you know what? What has to change? What do I have to give up? So you want success. You want success. You want to make more money. You want a better relationship. You want, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever success is to you, okay? I'm going to tell you, ask yourself, what am I going to give up? What am I going to give up? Because you might have to give up some things that you don't want to give up. Like real talk. You might have to get to the next level. To get to the next level, you might have to give up some things that you don't want to give up, because you're surrounding yourself around people that fit your past, and you need to be around people that fit your future. So what is it that you're going to give up? What are you going to give up? You might have to give up the girlfriend. Oh, you might have to give up the boyfriend. Oh, you might have to give up the significant other. Oh, you might have to give up playing bowl. You might have to give up bowling night. Oh, you might have to give up, hanging out on the weekend doing nothing. Oh, you might have to give up smoking the blunts for no reason. Oh, what is it that I'm going to give up because I need to go to the next level? Everybody wants to look at things that they want. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's great. And my first question to them is, okay, you want that? You want to make $1 million? Yeah. You want this great relationship? Yeah. You want the big house? Yeah. Just bobblehead. Yeah. What are you going to give up? What are you gonna give up? And most people are like, no, don't me now. You want $1 million. Isn't the word. You want a big house. Okay, that's what you want. Okay, what are you going to give up? So here, I give you an example. Some people see a big, gigantic 400-gallon fish tank in my back and behind me. Okay, that's flushed into a wall in the kitchen. Okay, which is stupid. This freaking fish tank is big as some people's bathtubs. I love fish.
Yeah.
helps lower my blood pressure. And Lord knows when I get off of this, when I get off this video, I'm going to go look at them for a little while just to calm my blood pressure. I don't like to take man-made pills. So I'm just going to have to look at them and just,
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for adding value, man. Thank you so much.
So why do I bring this up, right? I bring this up. How do I get a 400-gallon fish tank behind me? What did I give up? What did I give up? What did I give up? I gave up a lot of friends growing up. I gave up a lot of surroundings, man. I gave up a lot of surroundings. I gave up a lot of relationships.
That's it.
I gave up a lot of people that I was real cool with, that I grew up with, that I knew that if I hung around them, I was going to either be paralyzed, jail, or dead. There was only 3 options. I don't know of any wealthy drug dealers. It was going to be paralyzed, dead, or in jail. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I knew. So I have to give this up. I've got to give these surroundings up. I got to give these friends up.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes some people don't want to give up certain things because guess what? It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to have that conversation with your significant other.
You're right.
It's uncomfortable, man. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to have the conversation with your kids saying, hey, there's certain things that we're not going to be able to do because daddy got to focus on this. That's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to call your boys at the bowling on the bowling team and say, guys, you know, I'm gonna have to fall back from the bowling team because I got stuff I need to be doing on Tuesday nights at 7. That's going to be uncomfortable. But before you can get comfortable, you got to get uncomfortable because you better understand something. When the tide goes out, everybody knows who's naked. See, it's real easy to act like you're doing this, and this when the tide is in.
Yeah.
See, the tide has been in. See, crypto is brought the tide in for a lot of people. Everybody changed their life. Stock market has been on steroids. Everybody like tide has been in. Tide has been in, right? Gas prices $3 a gallon. Tide has been in.
Yes, sir.
Now gas prices $6 a gallon. Crypto done shaved off $1.2 trillion. Stock market is down. The tide going out. Now you're seeing who's naked. Now you can see who's naked. Do you want to be naked? No, you don't want to be naked. I don't want to see some of your naked butts anyway. Okay, it's just not really a good look. So the reality of it is that you want to get to an event so the tide never goes out. You get to this event, the tide doesn't go out because you're constantly doing this. And there's going to be 1 or 2 people that are going to be on here right now, Delator, that's going to look at their bank account and say, man, how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to make this happen? Here's what I figured out about God. If your intention is there, and your intention is right, the resources appear.
Yes,
if
sir.
Your intention is right. All said, my credit card got a $9,900 balance and it's got a $10,000 limit. Them tickets are more than $100. If your intention is there, watch something magical happen. It's all about your intention. Is your intention there? There's some kind of way I'm supposed to be there. I got to be there. I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be there. God, give me a way. Give me a way. I make $0 at this event. I make $0 from anybody going to this link whatsoever. Okay? I'm not selling anything at Delator's event unless it lets me. I'm not selling anything at the event. That's not the plan. Okay, but here's what I'm telling everybody. I want everybody to know this. This is what I want everybody to know. You're talking about people that are collaborating to help lift each other up.
That's it. That's it.
And to help lift as many people up around us, because guess what? Guess what happens when we affect other people's lives? That's right. Indirectly, we affect our own. And I'm going to leave everybody with this. I want you to think about this because a lot of people are wondering why they're in the situation that they're in right now, right? Delator said, give you a nugget. I think I gave you a couple of nuggets. I'm gonna leave you with this one.
Bro, you didn't give us a 20 piece, bro. You didn't give us a 20 piece tonight.
I got a 40 piece at the event. I'm gonna leave you with this. I want you to think about this. You know, at the end of the day, you really want to change your life. You really want to change your life, and you're like, yes, I really want something magical to happen. Yes. You've already been praying about it. Yes, you've been asking for something to show up in your life. You've been asking for it. And sometimes when things show up in your life, when God delivers it to you, it doesn't come on a billboard.
Yeah.
It doesn't come in an email.
That's good, bro.
It doesn't come in a text message.
That's right.
It doesn't come in a phone call. See, if you are open, if you're open,
Come on.
I realize that everything that you ever ask for, he gives it to you. However, you got to be open enough to receive it, because it will pass right by you and you didn't even know it because you were cloudy, because you didn't know, because it was dressed a certain way, because it didn't look like how it should be delivered.
Come on.
So at the end of the day, maybe, just maybe, you're on this video for a reason. Maybe, just maybe, you've been asking for something and voila, this pops up in your feed. Maybe, just maybe, you've read Dr. Delatoro's book and you're like, you know what, man, I would love to meet him in person. And you will realize that he's a real guy, super humble, just super duper nice guy. If I knew how to ride motorcycles, we would have all sorts of videos together. I don't know how to ride motorcycles. I ride jet skis. Two wheels, he on 2 wheels. Man, I just learned how to drive 4. Man, I'm Gucci with all that. But one day I might figure it out.
Yes, sir.
It's the relationships. It's the relationship. So do whatever you got to do. Put that intention out there. Put that intention out there and get to the event. We know without a shadow of a doubt, there will be some magical things that will happen in your life, but it's got to be up to you to be willing to make a decision to commit.
Can you guys do us a favor? I want everybody in the comments to say a thank you to my main man, Said, and you can even say thank you to Dr. Delatoro, y'all, because we put this together literally a couple of days ago over text, and I made a commitment after this pandemic. I said I am going to partner with more of my colleagues, more of my people that I admire and respect, and I respect this brother. I value this brother. Been a great friend and great colleague in this industry for years, and so I really believe, y'all, that now is the time that we stop doing everything by ourselves and stop doing things solo, and really learn to celebrate collaborative partnerships and adding value to each other. Listen, sometimes God calls you to plant trees under whose shade you don't sit. Sometimes God calls you, I'm gonna say it again, sometimes God calls you to plant trees under whose shade you do not sit. At the end of the day, every single one of us have the obligation to just add value sometimes. And when you just commit to adding value, Bishop T.D. Jakes taught me this at a private mentoring session. There was no advertising, there was no marketing. He said, excellence can never be hidden. He said, Dr. Delatoro, if you will commit your life to being excellent, you ain't got to worry about being famous or being popular or being number one. All of those things are secondary benefits when you commit to being excellent. So I want to encourage each and every one of you all to lean into excellence. And if you got great value out of tonight, share this broadcast. There were so many incredible nuggets that came out of this broadcast, and take it a step further. Don't just share it, because anybody can just click a button, an arrow, and share it. But y'all go to the page, register for the Full Throttle Experience, and watch your life and your business explode in ways that you cannot even imagine. I'm going to close you out with this. I believe in, said it. I believe that what you want also wants you. I'm going to say that again. What you want also wants you. When you take a singular step towards what you want, I believe God pushes the thing that you want one step closer to you. And so every time you take that step of faith, okay, I'm going to register for this conference. Boom, I'm going to take that step. All of a sudden, doors that were closed to you, because of proximity, will begin to open on your behalf. So my friend, this is not an accident. If you've gotten value out of tonight, and so many of y'all have, you're saying thank you and all that kind of stuff in the comments, you're saying thank you to two people who have operated in excellence for decades. Two people who love one another and celebrate each other's gifts enough to say there's no competition here. We're here to add value to the planet. So you're seeing two brothers who have, I can make millions, Said makes millions, and we don't take a nickel out of each other's pocket. I love that brother. I quote that brother all the time. I share his content. He quotes me. He shares my content. And that's what it's all about. It's about the power of collaborative relationships. So, my friend, I encourage you to put yourself in the space where your life can be changed and transformed. Your main man, he just said it to you. He said, listen, the tide is out. Your nakedness is showing. It's time for us to clothe you in truth, in wisdom, and in knowledge, so that you could step into the rest of this year and make the rest of this year the best of this year. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do not let this be the end of the conversation. Commencement does not mean the end. Commencement really means the beginning. Let this be the beginning of your next level, it's a simple thing. We did the hard part. We made you aware of an opportunity. All you have to do is go to the website and register for the conference and let the rest attract itself to your future. God bless you, my friend. We appreciate you. Said, man, hats off, my brother. Remarkable job tonight. Thank you so much, man. And I can't wait to continue to do amazing things throughout the rest of the year with you. And I can't wait to see you live at FTX 2022, brother. It's going to be incredible.
Looking forward to it. See you guys soon.